Tonight, firefighters look to keep a wildfire on the outskirts of Beauval. Are air quality warnings impacting the rider game? And a rally to support a mother searching for closure.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It appears fire crews are winning the fight in protecting the community of Beauval in northern Saskatchewan, at least for now. According to the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, the fire looks to have gone around the community, but they're still not out of the woods yet. Stacey Hine has the latest.
We're at a roadblock about 5 kilometers south of the village of Beauval. Behind me, a plume of smoke. The flames from the Mosaic fire reaching the community around 5 o'clock yesterday evening. But so far, no homes have been lost.
To see that flame entering my community, it was, like I said, it was heartbreaking, but the angels on the ground put up that firefight. We got homes to come home to. And
the mayor showing us just how close the fire got to homes in the village. This concession stand and car at the community recreation fields among the few losses. Now crews can be seen fighting flare-ups, while sprinkler systems are spread out in the area. As water bombers and helicopters battle the blaze from the sky. Local MP Buckley Belanger says saving the village took a community effort.
What we saw was a heroic effort from the local people of Beauval, including the mayor. The mayor is out there fighting fire till 2 o'clock in the morning.
But the mayor of Beauval says they're not in the clear yet.
all that smoke, that's just north of the village, just less than half a kilometer away from us. And the fire line on the edge of the road that's flaring up, that's what they're battling right now.
As of Friday morning, the Mosaic fire stretches 95,000 hectares, larger than the city of Calgary and 4 times the size of Saskatoon. Crews are continuing to put out hot spots. They're also watching the weather closely and hoping for rain. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Beauval.
Now, Beauval evacuees who arrived in Saskatoon this week were nervously waiting for updates on how their community was doing. As Keenan Sorokon reports, a sudden change in weather really made them nervous last night.
Video coming out of Beauval shows the fight to save the village and just how close the flames came. Evacuees sent to the Travelodge in Saskatoon were in disbelief.
We never thought it would hit Beauval, but it did.
Tony Alcrow spent much of the last month on vacation before he was told he couldn't go back home.
Kind of disappointing. Miss my stuff. Hoping my house doesn't get burned down. I'm just praying by the day that the fires are gone and rain comes by.
It appears those prayers have been answered. Steve Roberts with the SPSA says because of fire lines, sprinklers, and hard work from people on the ground, a shed and a vehicle near the ball diamonds were the only structures lost in the fire.
But the fire actually moved right adjacent to the town area. We had not done all of those extensive measures and not had structural fire departments to put out spot fires. We may very well have had some structural losses.
But not everyone is satisfied with how the evacuation was handled. On Thursday, the SPSA had this to say.
This shouldn't be taking any major runs towards the community with the west winds. It will wslowly encroach southward.
They were thinking that wouldn't hit the community up until Monday, which gave us 4 days. Well, actually, it was 4 hours.
Roberts says a small weather system passed through and shifted the winds south into town for 8 hours. Some evacuees were sent to North Battleford, but then were told to go to Moose Jaw instead because hotels could only accommodate one-day stays. As Saskatchewan's wildfire season rages on, the more than 900 evacuees scattered across the province are hoping for some relief in the days ahead for a safe return home. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now, as the wildfires burn in northern Saskatchewan, central and southern Saskatchewan are seeing poor air quality. An air quality warning in effect for places like Regina, Moose Jaw, Estevan right now. Earlier, Saskatoon, with the air quality health index at 10 or 10 plus right now. In Regina, it's 10 plus. People who are older, pregnant women, babies, and younger children, as well as anyone with chronic health conditions, should avoid strenuous activities. The smoke can cause wheezing, coughing, but also more mild symptoms such as a headache or sinus irritation. It can also cause reduced visibility. While the smoke seemed to worsen throughout the day, it is expected to dissipate tomorrow. Now, despite the air quality warning, tonight's game between the Riders and Calgary Stampeders is hoping to still be a go at Mosaic Stadium, although it will be delayed now. With more, Donovan Mace joins us live from the concourse in Mosaic Stadium. So it was supposed to be 7. When's kickoff now?
Yeah, Lee, as you mentioned, the kickoff now delayed back to 7:45, so by 45 minutes. Players are expected to begin warm-ups in about 10 minutes or so, actually 5 minutes. Warm-ups beginning at 7:10, so still over an hour away from warm-ups beginning here, but fans still trickling in through the gates as we begin to set forward for a game that, despite this delay, doesn't need any more anticipation. The Calgary Stampeders coming to Regina to face off against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the top 2 teams in the West Division. And we talked to Trevor Harris earlier this week. The Roughriders are undefeated after week 4. They're coming off a bye week, but still, they don't think they've played their best football just yet.
Some of the people we have with Tate and Collins, and the preseason was Sean and Phil, and then we're down Shafe and Sam, and so you'd think at that point it's like, man, we're really decimated, like the cupboard's bare, we're scraping the barrel, but here we are. And again, we're testing our depth early, and hopefully we get some of those guys back, and we're able to kind of even keep going up a notch. And so we're 4-0, but that doesn't mean anything at this point. This week we're trying to go 1-0.
Now, Harris mentioned some of the injuries, but the team is hoping to move past those injuries, and it starts with getting Harris back into the starting lineup. But still, very key for the Rattlers' offense today will be running back A.J. Willett, who's coming off 3 straight 90-plus rushing yard games, including his first 100-yard rushing game as a Ratter back in week 4 prior to the bye against BC. He was so key in that game, and they're hoping that trend can continue. But the Ratters face their hardest test on defense so far this year in Calgary. Calgary has given up the least amount of points. Saskatchewan has scored the most points, so who will win that matchup? It's unsure. The Calgary defense has also scored 2 touchdowns last week against Winnipeg, both on interception returns. And then on offense, the Stamps pose a big challenge as well, and it is also in the run game with Dedrick Mills so far. He's put up 3 90-plus yard games so far this season, and he leads the league in touchdowns as well. Now, a lot of people are surprised by what Calgary is doing to this point so far to this season, but for Corey Mace, no surprise to him.
Not really a shock. Where they sit currently. It's a good football team, and it's going to be a challenge for us. If we want to get to where we got to get to, we got to be ready to play teams like this. So it'll be a great test.
So again, continuing to monitor the smoke, there is 3 air quality monitors on Mosaic Stadium, and we use AQ maps to be able to read what they are saying. All 3 monitors right now with readings at 10 plus. So whether or not the game gets delayed further, that's still yet to be determined. We'll continue to provide updates as we have those. Again, on the field, big matchup ahead. Riders hoping to stay undefeated, and they've won 4 of their last 5 home games here at Mosaic. Lee, their only loss to Calgary at the end of last season, and Calgary has won 10 of the last 11 matchups here in Regina.
All right, regular season for sure, yeah. It's Calgary's had an interesting time in a regular season here at Mosaic Stadium. Thank you, Donovan. Donovan Mace reporting live for us tonight. Get our first taste of weather with Morgan Campbell's going to join us.
Yeah, no injuries here at the CTV Regina studio, but you have the backup anyway because Sabine is also down at Mosaic Stadium doing her in-game hosting, so that'll be a fun night for her. Anybody who's heading out to the game will get to see her or at least hear her at the stadium. In terms of the forecast, though, it has been a pretty interesting day when you consider that smoke. You do have a few air quality statements still in effect. They have been all over the place in terms of their placement abandonment in different cities around the province. This hour, we still have one in the Regina region all the way to the south to the American border there. Also in the northwest part of the province and the east central parts of the province. We'll keep an eye on air quality statements as the night progresses. Current temperatures, it was a little cooler, below seasonal throughout most of the day. Temperatures have been rising throughout the late afternoon. We did reach a high just this last hour of 20.8 degrees in Regina, which is below the average of 25 for this time of year. But I'll have more on your forecast heading into the weekend in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Morgan. Outside of Regina Police headquarters today, a mother surrounded by supporters offered a statement calling for a search of the city landfill to find her missing daughter. Jacob Carr has the latest.
22 days ago, Michelle Bear started a hunger strike outside of the Regina landfill, urging the Regina Police Service and the City of Regina to carry out a search of the facility for her daughter Rochelle's remains. Rochelle Bear went missing in 2013, later determined to be a victim of a homicide. Clayton Eichler pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in Rochelle's death, but her body was never found. On Friday, Michelle read a statement saying some progress has been made since her fast began.
I want to reestablish communication with the investigators and will continue communicating with them to bring Rochelle home. I would like to say thank you to all the people for their love and support over the past 4 weeks, and I hope no mother has to go through this ever again.
Standing behind Bear are several supporters, including Chantel Poitras, who wore a t-shirt donated by a designer from British Columbia who knew Rochelle before she went missing.
So wearing these shirts represents justice for Rochelle Bear and her mother, Michelle Bear. I believe it is a powerful statement to make. And we're just here showing our support.
In response to the rally at RPS headquarters, Acting Chief of the Regina Police Service, Laura Lee Davies, provided a statement saying investigators met with Michelle Thursday to talk about the investigation, Michelle's ideas on how to move forward, and what police can do to help. City Councillor Sarah Turnbull was also on hand, expressing her support for Bear's cause.
But really where it stands right now is they don't have the evidence in a place where they feel comfortable advocating to dig up the landfill, and the evidence has to be in place.
Bear ended her statement by sending prayers to all mothers and families that still need answers and are waiting with questions. For now, her biggest question, where her daughter is, remains unanswered. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
More people are working in Saskatchewan than ever before. The latest job numbers from Stats Canada show in June, the province added 20,500 jobs compared to last year. As Wayne Mantika reports, the growth comes with news of a modest rise to the minimum wage.
Javier Valera is part of a growing workforce in Saskatchewan. He's employed as a technician at Young's Equipment in Moose Jaw.
My wife and I, we're looking for a better place to raise our kids. We have 4 kids. And since Peru is having a difficult situation in a political way, we decided to migrate to Canada.
Saskatchewan recorded the lowest unemployment rate in Canada last month at 4.9%. Qualified workers are hard to find. Young's Equipment has participated in several global employment fairs facilitated by the provincial government.
Once we've identified a potential employee, they've done a tremendous job in giving them all the information they needed to make the immigration process very smooth.
Saskatchewan added 20,500 jobs year over year in June. The government says more people are working in the province now than ever before.
And the fact that there is that demand for labor that's coming, and that's coming because of economic activity, construction being one of the key ones here in this part of the world. I know several contractors that if they could hire more people, they would.
To attract entry-level workers, Saskatchewan is increasing the minimum wage by 35 cents hourly on October 1st to $15.35. It'll be second only to Alberta for the lowest in the country, although Saskatchewan expects that this province's lower cost of living will compensate for that. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Well, after a rainy first night of music, Country Thunder is getting set for a second night of performances, albeit at plenty of smoke in the air. Damian Smith has more on how organizers are looking to enhance the fan experience.
With Country Thunder Saskatchewan heading into the weekend slate, those working and volunteering at the festival are making sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. The Queen City Kinsmen are part of one large volunteer group that looks forward to bringing part of the experience.
We get our group out to volunteer. We all like walking the grounds and chatting with all the folks that come back year after year and looking for their 50-50 tickets. So we always tell them, look for the orange shirt and call us over.
You know, we give them a call saying, hey, you want to come back? And they're always eager.
Country Thunder remains a staple in the Craven Valley and the Saskatchewan music scene, but organizers say what happens on the grounds goes hand in hand with the music and entertainment and getting people to come back next year.
It really does go beyond the main stage. That used to be the only focus at a festival, and, you know, just expanding on that fan experience and making it more than just music.
From selling 50-50 tickets to security and cleanup, the festival brings plenty of job opportunities, both paid and volunteer.
It gets them a lot of experience, whether you're working security for one of those companies, working cleanup crew.
For the Kinsmen, along with being part of the festival, it helps support their club and its initiatives.
Many of our kinsmen and connect clubs from around the province will come and help us out. And also they get some other ball groups, some charity groups come out to help them out, and they get a percentage of their sales.
As for the rest of the festival, there are still 2 days left over, with the Def Leppard performing here at Country Thunder for the first time in festival history. Damian Smith, CTV News, Craven.
Still ahead, reaction in Canada over Donald Trump's threat of 35% tariffs on Canadian goods. And President Trump views the devastation from the floods in Texas. The U.S. president is threatening to hit Canada with 35% tariffs beginning next month. The two countries have been working on a trade deal for months, but less than 2 weeks before the deadline announced by the Prime Minister, the president is not only doubling down, he's upping his threat. As CTV's Colton Prail reports, it has some wondering if a deal is even possible.
After weeks of pushing for a trade deal, Canada is staring down an even bigger threat.
Frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases. So
President Donald Trump now says he'll put in place 35% tariffs beginning August 1st. The White House says it wouldn't apply to energy tariffs or goods covered by the free trade agreement. But the president hasn't confirmed that.
We're going to see. It was sent yesterday. They called. I think it was fairly well received, but it's what we need. So we'll see what happens.
While some critics say the Liberals need to follow through on the elbows up mantra, Ottawa argues it is.
Canada is the only country on earth, along with China, that has imposed so many counter tariffs. So we have had already a very strong response.
Canada didn't retaliate when Trump increased tariffs on steel and aluminum and gave up billions foregoing collection of the digital sales tax after the president ended trade talks over the issue.
Carney's keeping his mind very much on the end game, which is to secure that economic and security framework with the United States.
Since last month, Canada's target for a trade deal has shifted. July 16th quickly became July 21st. And now Canada says the new target is August 1st, before counter tariffs will be applied. But it's the day before that deadline that could make all the difference. That's when the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide if Trump's executive order tariffs are legal.
The last possible hope for Canada. We can't trust a deal with the president. Our only hope is the courts or Congress. And if we lose the courts, well, then we know where we stand.
The court decision won't impact tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, or copper, all of which were applied under a different measure. Colton Prail, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, as mentioned, goods that comply with the existing trade agreement with the United States will likely not be impacted by the new tariff threat. But that isn't doing much to clear up confusion over just how big of a hit the Canadian economy would take. CTV's Abigail Bimman takes a closer look.
It's just so much fun.
The treasure bin at Rainbow Minerals may be fun. The trade war's impact on the small beading and jewelry supply business is not. American products are 25% more expensive, and they've stopped shipping south because the paperwork is too much. Ash Charania says there's lots of confusion and little help, with the new 35% threat making things worse.
The small businesses are being put in the middle as a pawn. And in the game of chess, those are the pieces that are thrown to the side to get to the bigger picture.
And they determine whether your goods qualify as.
The federal government does offer a guide and CUSMA compliance support phone line, though many don't seem to know about it.
The constant changing of the goalposts and the deadlines and the numbers continues, and that's quite toxic for business.
According to U.S. trade data, in 2024, only 38% of Canadian goods entered the U.S. under CUSMA, while RBC estimates 94% of Canadian exports were actually eligible. Experts say it's a matter of businesses not wanting to deal with the paperwork headache, as well as a lack of enforcement at the border.
Perhaps they thought the juice wasn't worth the squeeze because we were still getting into the United States duty and tariff-free. That is no longer the case, and so it is very vital that businesses do it.
In terms of the small list of products not covered by CUSMA, they include a few agricultural goods and some textiles, and others that don't meet the rules of origin requirements.
The vast majority of Canadian exports do qualify for tariff and duty-free to the United States.
Experts say getting that CUSMA certification is crucial as everyone waits to see what President Trump's final decision on tariffs may be. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A Montreal mother accused of abandoning her 3-year-old daughter on the side of a highway last month has been ordered to remain in police custody. The 34-year-old has been ordered to undergo a psychiatric assessment within 30 days. She'll remain in custody until her next court appearance on August the 8th. The toddler was missing for more than 3 days before being found alive on the side of the highway in Ontario. This after a massive search in Quebec and Ontario. The mother is facing charges of unlawful abandonment of a child and criminal negligence causing bodily harm. Together, they carry a maximum sentence of 15 years. And the U.S. president is in central Texas today visiting the disaster zone left a week after fast-moving floodwaters killed at least 120 people.
We just were making a little tour of the area. It's hard to believe the devastation. Trees that are 100 years old just ripped out of the ground. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen a lot of bad ones. I've gone to a lot of hurricanes, a lot of tornadoes. I've never seen anything like this. This is a bad one. We just visited with incredible families that, I mean, look, they've been devastated. They lost their child or 2 children, and just hard to believe what, I've never seen anything like it.
Now, among the dead are dozens of children and counselors at Camp Mystic. That's a private Christian summer camp for girls. The search continues for more than 170 people still missing. Texas is facing another flood threat in the coming days, primarily in areas north of hard-hit Kerrville. However, there is still a level 1 threat in the region out of 4 levels due to the uncertainty of where the storm will hit. Coming up, from East End to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, researchers are looking to uncover more about our prehistoric past.
It's Country Thunder weekend and Rough Rider game day, as you know. Monday morning, we're going to have the highlights from the festival and maybe a 5-0 Rough Rider start. We'll see you then.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
If you've looked outside, been outside, had a window open, even just a little bit, it's pretty clear today that it's not clear at all. Very smoky in the Regina area, and that's been the case across much of the province today. You see that there is, if I move this way, you can see the temperature, 21 degrees. It's been a little bit warmer throughout the afternoon hours, but for much of the day it was cold and rainy and smoky. And luckily, that is expected to clear out as we move into the weekend, but lots of areas of the province still dealing with the smoke. You can see northern regions where there are still quite a few active wildfires. There's a lot lot of smoke in that area, also in the central regions near the Manitoba border, and then in the Regina area right down to the U.S. border. Lots of smoke still to deal with in the evening hours. When we look at our weather tracker, I'll get out of the way here so we can see how those systems are moving. Things should be clearing out throughout the evening hours. Hopefully they're able to get a game underway at Mosaic Stadium. Some cloud cover moving through into the morning hours of Saturday as we start the weekend. Some systems moving through with some rain in northern regions. Hopefully that helps with the wildfire fight. Then the clouds clearing out into the afternoon, into the southeast there as we move into Saturday evening. Some more cloud cover, not much in terms of precipitation until we get into Sunday in the morning. You can see it's moving in from the west there. And then as we move through Sunday afternoon, some scattered precipitation in the Regina area, also moving through Assiniboia there. Then Sunday evening into Monday morning, a bit of a larger system in the southwest region there around Maple Creek that could bring some thunderstorms. So as we move out of the weekend into the work week, that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Looking at precipitation, though, not much in terms of accumulation over the next 3 days. The Regina area, not much, just trace amounts. Maple Creek could see as much as 3 millimeters. Lloydminster, 5 millimeters. A bit more in Buffalo Narrows at 18 millimeters of accumulation and 7 millimeters for La Ronge. Now, the smoke forecast has been the story today. The purple regions are more dense smoke. You can see it's moving along the eastern border with Manitoba there, and that's going to be moving through in the overnight hours. The blue is lighter smoke, low health risk in terms of the air quality advisory. So parts of northeast Saskatchewan still dealing with some fairly heavy smoke as we move into tomorrow afternoon, and then it's going to be pretty heavy in Manitoba for Saturday before we get into Sunday. Some sunshine on the way and temperatures back to seasonal or above seasonal. Looking at tonight and tomorrow, some rain expected in Laloche and Lloydminster. Sunshine and 25 for Lloydminster, 27 degrees tomorrow in Prince Albert with some cloud cover. A bit of thunderstorm activity possible tomorrow in La Ronge. Moving south, North Battleford, 27 degrees tomorrow. Some sunshine in Saskatoon, 26. Cloud cover in Yorkton tomorrow. Very warm in Maple Creek, 29, 28 for Swift Current, 29 degrees with some sun and cloud in Moose Jaw. And then in the southeast, Estevan, bit of cloud cover, 29 degrees, 29 in Weyburn and Assiniboia with a mix of sun and cloud. For Regina, 26 degrees tomorrow. Some haze still making its way through the province and some cloud cover. Winds out of the southwest up to 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, so I know the game is not tomorrow, but full disclosure, I couldn't figure out how to get that little logo off, so just, bear with me. Then Sunday, 26 degrees. Some rain could be making its way back through the province in the Regina area on Monday, 22 degrees, so below seasonal to start the work week next week, and then getting closer to seasonal around 25 degrees for Thursday and Friday. Lee, what do you think?
It's going to be an okay weekend, really. That's what you got to look forward to. So.
Yeah. It's going to be sunny, and hopefully we can get outside with the smoke clearing out and a little mix of rain, sun, a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Thank you very much, Morgan.
Bye.
Now, some new exciting discoveries are surfacing out of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum and T-Rex Discovery Centre in East End. Researchers are not only working on new findings involving Saskatchewan's very own Scotty the T-Rex, but another dinosaur dating back more than 66 million years ago. Angela Stewart has that story.
On a hill above the town of East End, experts at the T-Rex Discovery Centre are working to uncover the stories buried in Saskatchewan's prehistoric past.
One of the projects that we currently have on the go is with the University of Regina is looking at preserved blood vessels that are trapped inside some of the ribs where they've broken and then healed over the blood vessels.
Those blood vessels are from the province's most legendary fossil, Scotty, a Tyrannosaurus rex dug up near East End 34 years ago. Scotty is still a main attraction for Regina's Royal Saskatchewan Museum and researchers alike, but they're just one part of a bigger 66-million-year-old picture.
Things like fossil plants, things like pieces of amber that allow us to reconstruct the whole ecosystem, so we get some sense of what the forest looked like around it and some of the other plants and animals that were living alongside it.
East End is a prehistoric hotbed. There are more than 30 dig sites in this area, each revealing even more. The Chambery Coulee is rich in prehistoric history. Many dinosaurs have been uncovered, including Scotty the T-Rex and Frankie the Triceratops. Both were discovered just hills apart from each other.
Usually bones are brought from the Royal Saskatchewan Museum to here for us to work on. So this year instead we decided to pull out a jacket that's been waiting for 31 years, and that is Frankie the Triceratops.
Believed only to be a partial skull, Frankie's fossils were found around the same time Scotty was unearthed. Research on the Triceratops specimen was put on hold for more than 3 decades. Not a long time compared to Frankie's 60+ million years buried under the dirt, but Frankie's wait is finally over.
Scotty was definitely, top of the priority list, and then Frankie, which is a Triceratops and one of the more common dinosaurs we have in the province, just kept getting pushed back.
These fossils are being cleaned and prepped, a delicate process that involves sweeping away the sandstone and any loose shells attached to the bone.
It's been a month and we've already exposed most of the material in the jacket. We've found one of the horns that would be like the one that sits above its eye there, and then some of like the frill and skull, so like that back shield on its neck.
According to Black, past research on other Triceratops have revealed signs of injuries, like a broken neck, their bones showing signs of fusing back together. Now they're looking to reveal Frankie's own story, one that's been locked away and buried for millions of years.
We're hoping to find some bones that you don't typically find in Triceratops, particularly called the palate bones, so like the roof of their mouth. They're a pretty rare thing to find, but they can help give us insights into diet.
The work at the T-Rex Discovery Center is expected to be wrapped up at the end of the summer as the team works to add more pieces into a delicate mosaic that forms a picture of Saskatchewan's prehistoric past. Angela Stewart, CTV News, East End.
Still ahead, a tough day at the office for bull riders like Dakota Butter at the Calgary Stampede.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
At the Calgary Stampede, Etonia's Dakota Butter looking to make it 2 straight wins in the bull riding event.
Up after yesterday, and he just keeps getting better. He's like fine wine. You can see Dakota, but nice bull dip off today.
Yeah, tough luck for Dakota. Gets bucked off of Stanleyville Terror, but it was a tough day for most of the bull riders. Only one stayed on, and that was on a re-ride. Junior steer riding, Maple Creek's Cecil Baton finished second for the second straight ride, earning another $2,500, while Dayton Cronkite was bucked off. They all have one more ride tomorrow. Canada's dream of winning the World Men's Softball Championship in Prince Albert has come to an end. The red and white fell 7-3 to world #1 Argentina last night. With the loss, Canada is eliminated from medal contention at the WBSC Men's Softball World Cup Finals. Reigning world champions Australia have also been eliminated. Japan, the U.S., Venezuela, and New Zealand have advanced to the Super Round and will compete for the title. Canada takes on the Dominican Republic tonight in a placement round game. Well, title hopes are also gone for the Saskatchewan Rattlers in the Canadian Elite Basketball League. With a 4-11 record and 4 games left, playoffs are unobtainable. John Flatters has more on a team that's looking to build for next season.
The Saskatchewan Rattlers have been in some close contests all season. On Sunday, their efforts were rewarded with a home win against the Ottawa Blackjacks.
I think every game is motivation for us to clean up some details, but something like that just gives you a boost. The way that the team fought, the way that we competed, means we still have more things to clean up to make sure that we're putting ourselves in continuously better positions, but we'll take that energy and hopefully build on into this one.
The win featured 2 new single-game franchise records, a 40-point game from Jordan Bowden and Nate Pierre-Louis picking up 14 assists. It also saw Anthony Tigakili become the Rattlers' all-time leading rebounder.
That's just a testament to his hard work and work ethic for the past couple seasons. So you know what, all these guys have made huge commitments to our team this year, and they've stayed dedicated through the wins and through the losses.
Ahead of their home game tonight, the Rattlers will be without the services of Bowden, so their game plan has been adjusted accordingly.
We need to be diligent offensively. You know, a guy like Jordan can create his own shot and kind of, you know, get us out of some binds. So for us, we've really focused this week on making sure that we understand our actions, we understand where we can attack from, and that sort of focused offense can lead to better defensive transition.
Pierre-Louis, a former Los Angeles Lakers prospect, says he's settling in nicely at the guard position in Saskatchewan.
I've had stints of showing I could be a good playmaker, but I just think that it wasn't a full-fledged of trust. But this team right here, they've trusted my abilities, and you know, you see the reaps of that benefit. So, you know, I'm really grateful for that.
It's a position other teams didn't see him in, but it's a fit with the Rattlers.
We've worked with Nate so much this year on his reads and how he can be a distributor. You know, I think that's the growth in his professional career of where he's going to become. He's been used in a lot of different ways, but point guard's probably his best way.
The homestand continues against Winnipeg Friday and Calgary Tuesday before 4 straight road games. John Flatters, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, scammers are turning to AI to help trick their targets.
After a bit of a break from the heat today, we are returning to seasonal or above seasonal temperatures as we start the weekend. I'll get out of the way so you can see your rural forecast for tomorrow. Most regions in the high 20s. You can see Hudson Bay with some cloud cover, but everywhere else getting quite a bit of sunshine. 26 degrees in Lloydminster, Spiritwood, Watrous, Wynyard. 27 degrees for Outlook, Kindersley, Meadow Lake, and Hudson Bay. Moving a little further south now, you can see temperatures warming up in the Coronach area, 31 degrees, 29 tomorrow for Maple Creek, Rock Glen, Assiniboia. Bit of cloud cover as you see along eastern parts of the province there. Kenora, 27 degrees, 26 tomorrow for Broadview. And then East End Cypress, 27 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Taking a closer look at Strasbourg, tomorrow it will be 26 degrees with the winds out of the west, 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. And you can get SaskTel internet there as well.
New warning about scam text messages, which may be popping up on more phones. They are called smishing attacks, and it's getting harder to spot the scammers who are turning to artificial intelligence to make their messages seem more legit. CTV's John Venavalley-Rao explains.
The latest warning comes from the Competition Bureau, which says more people have been seeing those annoying scam texts pop up, claiming to be from agencies like Revenue Canada, or that you owe money for a toll highway, often including a link that scammers are trying to get you to click on. Janine Compton recently got one claiming she was caught speeding and had to pay a fine, and initially thought it might be real.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link. I did not click. I just blocked the number.
Compton was the target of a scam known as SMS phishing or smishing. The texts often claimed to be from an actual organization or business. And while they used to contain things like spelling errors, making them easier to spot, AI services like ChatGPT are making them harder to detect.
Spelling mistakes used to be a tell, particularly when people had to write these messages themselves, and often it was people who didn't necessarily speak English as their first language.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre warns AI can also allow messages to be sent out at a faster rate, and warns scammers are using AI to scrape information about you from the internet.
Some of the messages may include some of your personal information as an extra way to try to convince you that it's a legitimate message, right?
The advice: never click on suspicious links, ignore texts even if asked to reply with stop or no, and forward spam text to 7726 or spam. And of course, delete them to avoid accidental interaction. But as AI technology continues to improve, more people may fall victim, which is why the Anti-Fraud Centre and others want everyone to remain vigilant. John Venavalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Markets both went down today. The TSX slightly by 59 points. The Dow Jones went down by 279 points. Canadian dollar, it went down as well, almost 0.2 cents to 73.04 cents U.S. Commodity front, gold up $31.54. West Texas Intermediate crude up $1.98, while Western Canadian Select crude went down $1.38. So gas right now, Regina, most places, if not all, currently $1.31.9 cents per liter.
Hello there. The Toronto Gold Mining Index rose today as bullion prices climbed again, sparked by fears of economic disarray caused by trade threats from Washington. Over the past year, the gold stock index in Toronto has produced a big total return of almost 49%. The new broadside against Canada is testing Prime Minister Mark Carney's strategy of avoiding conflict. Carney has mostly tried to cool tensions. He's even resorted to flattery. He called Trump a, quote, transformational president during a visit to the White House in May. Carl Shamotta, chief market strategist at Corpay Incorporated, says there was hope, there was light at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, it appears the light is a train. It looks as though negotiations between Trump and Canada and many other countries have essentially been irrelevant. That's the latest in business. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we've got Celebrity Jeopardy, followed by Double Fear Thy Neighbor, The Big Bang Theory E-Talk, then I think a show about smishing, and then, yeah, you've got your local and national news, local 11:30.
Have you watched Fear Thy Neighbor?
No. Have you?
It's intense.
Oh.
And so, yeah. Just a warning.
Intense if you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Romantic message in a bottle thrown from the cliffs of an island in Newfoundland 13 years ago has been found in Ireland.
And even better, the couple behind the message is still in love. Brad and Anita Squires had been dating for a year when they decided, let's cast a message in a bottle from Bell Island back in September of 2012. Anita wrote this, quote, "Today we enjoyed dinner, this bottle of wine, and each other on the edge of the island." Then they shoved the letter into the wine bottle, tossed it into the bay, and then now, fast forward to just this week, Kate and John Gay found it 3,000 kilometers away along Ireland's southwest coast. They posted that on Facebook, and it didn't take very long in this digital age for Brad and Anita to find it. They're now married with 3 children.
Ah, that's pretty cool. It took that long and then shows up.
I think it's pretty cool that they're still married. That's impressive in this day and age, even more so than the bottle.
You made it.
And
12 years.
Oasis fans were out early in the United Kingdom today for a long-awaited return of the Gallagher brothers to their hometown.
And we've still got 5 hours till the band comes on, but it's all worth it. It's part of the day. First homecoming show in 16 years, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's right. 16 years since Oasis played in Manchester, and fans flying from all over the world to see the band play 5 shows in the city. Oasis kicked off their Live 25 tour last Friday in Cardiff, Wales. The band will tour the UK for much of the summer, but they will make a Canadian stop in Toronto for 2 shows at the end of August.
So, Lee, you're from the UK.
Originally.
How do you feel about Oasis?
They're a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I'd listen to them. I just probably wouldn't go to their concert.
Well, you're here now, so that tells us something.
Something.
Have a good weekend.